Oh, my goodness
I was
gracious.
timing you.
I mean, seriously, when the senior producer gets in your ear and starts telling you, like, parking stories, you know it's good.
Yeah.
He never talks to us. Outnumbered overtime. OT, baby. So we ended the TV version of us with stories in parking lots where people have done things that they shouldn't do with their cars.
You have a story? Come on.
You know, I'm not so bad. I mean, when I was young and had just gotten my license, I used to forget to put the parking brake on. And we lived in California when there were quite a few hills in San Jose. And so there were a few times when things would roll.
Did you lose your car ever? Did it go down the hill?
Yeah, my parents took it. Out. Finally. After,
took your car.
Yeah, they took it. They were like, look, you know, you've managed to leave it rolling. So you obviously don't care about it.
So I got my driver's license. Being from Louisiana, you could do these things at 15 when I was growing up. And my dad had coached the head of the driver's license bureau. So my driver's license test was me getting in the car, driving him to the gas station so he could get a 6-pack and cigarettes, and then driving him back to the DMV. And I did it without a wreck, so I got my driver's license.
Wow.
Been driving ever since.
That's amazing.
That's nice of you to do, too.
Connections in small towns.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember I had a car. I had a Buick Skyhawk, and it had 2 long doors.
True story.
It had long doors. Yeah, true story.
Was it a Skylark?
Skyhawk.
It was
the hawk. It
I've
was the
never heard
bird.
of that.
I gotta
Yeah,
Google
everyone
that.
always corrects me on that. I'm like, no, it was the Buick Skyhawk. The beast. My sister and I shared it. Even the roof was falling. It was like coming down to our head. But I remember we lost every hubcap. Eventually, they just kept falling off. My dad was so embarrassed. He's like, you need to go get them fixed. But he was trying to teach us that we should do it on our own. My sister and I shared the car. So I came out. I was getting ready to go to school. I was late at school, of course. And went out to my parents' driveway, and someone, I know who it was, these 2 guys were playing a joke with me. They had frozen pizzas, and they had them wired to every single wheel of my car. So I had to go to school. I didn't have time to cut them off.
Oh, my God.
And so I went to school with frozen pizzas attached to every wheel, because everyone made fun of me.
That's a good
like,
one.
Ainsley, get your hubcaps fixed.
That is good. I was playing
Hilarious.
drums once while I was driving, and I ran into a neighbor.
Like physically?
Playing like drums and staring. No, that's when I was 16.
Oh my
and
God,
so
is
yeah,
okay?
I was playing along. It was a slow collision, and you know, I was a really good.
The neighbor's
Never
car,
riding with
I
you.
assume, not the actual neighbor.
No, it was
You
a
didn't,
woman's
like,
car, and she just looked at me and shook her head. But the cool thing is, my mom made me get back in my stepdad's car and go pick up some burgers for the family, because she didn't want me to be so freaked out by my accident that I never drove again.
Nice.
Now I
She
drive
loves
great.
you.
Yeah, I'm getting this new sense of a reality show, Driving with Kennedy, where
Driving Miss Kennedy?
The insurance for the show would be outrageous.
You don't want to
but-
know what my insurance bill is every
So,
month.
Our senior producer, Jason Rocco, wants to play again. Did you just say that I'm talking to him through my... Your mom drove through a drive-through bank and almost hit the teller. Right through the window of the drive-through
How do you
bank.
even do that?
We gotta get him to come out on the couch. 'cause
Hold
he's
on,
got
how
the
do you
best
do
story.
that?
This is
Because the
fantastic.
drive-through
I
goes
don't know.
straight, and she would have had to like
Veer left.
And it's a tiny little space.
She cut left, she said.
So, do you think that, I'm just going to throw this out to the couch, do you think that after a certain age you need to have your driver's license test retaken?
Yeah, if you have to be a certain
Yes.
age to get a driver's license, you have to be a certain age to keep it. I think it's
Oh,
fair.
that's
Yeah.
so sad, though.
Oh, that's-
Elderly
is it
people,
sad?
when they have to
Is
give up
it
their
sad?
license,
It's not just
Oh, it
elderly
is
people;
sad,
it's people who
but
can't
it's
drive
necessary.
anymore. If you can't drive anymore and you're a
You're a terrible driver.
Is it
nuisance.
sad?
Okay, our live chat is lit up about this. Jim Passon says she crossed the yellow lines. And Rock Nirik says, oh, it proves my theory that Democrats can't drive. Get
Andrea, you haven't
political.
shared a story.
Or park.
I'm just an amazing driver. What can I say? I parallel park perfectly. And no, I was on my way to the Lone Star Steakhouse. Remember those?
Yeah, those are good. They had good yeast rolls.
And yeah, I was meeting my friend Erica, and I was in college, and I remember backing up my car and throwing it in reverse and through an entire parking lot and just literally clipping 5 cars in a row. Boom, 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 boom. And I was like, damn it, I'm so hungry. I don't want to deal with this right now.
That's great.
Wow.
Hold
So
on,
I
let
left
me
them
go get a
notes.
meal and I'll come back.
Yeah, I left them notes, and then I went to the Lone
That's
Star
how you knew, because you
Steakhouse.
said, well, why would you leave a note if you didn't do damage? That's how you knew.
I hit a woman's car in a parking lot, and I left her a note. And I'm really glad I did, because when first of all, when I pulled out of the parking garage, she was talking to a police officer. And I was like, I'm going to go ahead and keep driving and just wait for her to call me later. And she did. And she was going through chemotherapy. She was having treatment for breast cancer. And I wrote her a check for her car repairs. And I'm really glad that I left that note.
God bless
that.
you. Media Man 319 says, my first time here on the live chat. Well, welcome. Welcome. The water is warm. Okay. My son actually failed his driver's test for driving too slow. NC Harris 1168.
Wow.
Lots of stories. Michael Clark SC. When I was 16, I ran the only stoplight in the county during my driver's test, but still passed.
But still passed.
Merely a suggestion for libertarians.
Oh. All right. Okay. So we'll move on.
Growing up in Dubai, we moved over to Dubai when I was 5, and they had roundabouts there, which being from rural Louisiana, we never had roundabouts. And my dad and my sisters and I, we were in a car. We decided to go explore the city. We encounter our first roundabout at rush hour and get on it going the wrong way.
Oh, no.
At rush hour. It was fantastic.
Oh, my word.
I mean, I vividly remember
Have you seen European Vacation?
Yes.
Where they get stuck on the roundabout for hours?
So many stories.
Much like that.
So Clay W. Jen says, my mother-in-law stopped in the middle of the freeway one time. She missed her exit, got flustered, so she just stopped, and all the cars whizzed by at 70 miles per hour and nearly killed us. Great times. I mean, tons of stories. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about politics. Oh, wait a minute. Kennedy, make your hawk noise? What is that?
Hawk noise.
Yeah, I love Kennedy's hawk noise. It's amazing, Scripple646.
I don't know what that is. I know.
Bird sound?
Buick Skyhawk noise.
You do your trumpet. What about your trumpet?
Oh, maybe it's maybe that's it. Okay.
Good, actually.
Here's an interesting question about the Bergdahl situation.
I do weddings.
Peter Regas says, well, is Bergdahl in custody? Remember, he is a flight risk.
He is he's not in custody. He's at a base, but he's not locked up. So he's is he at Fort Sam Houston? But he is definitely at a base, but he is not like shackled.
I think what Pete Hegseth said last night on the Kelly File was really good when she asked him what he thought of this, and he said, I'm really proud of the U.S. Army for
not buckling to the Obama administration pressure. You're absolutely right, and that's a great point.
It was he went off, and he said, I'm so proud of the U.S. Army for restoring some kind of, he goes, honor and distinction actually to the military by showing that we have rules in the military and you cannot break them. And as you point out, Kennedy, bucking to the White House and actually giving the family members of the names that you read, Ainsley, some kind of justice, some kind of, peace, that their sons did not die in vain. And you also think about all the hours that were spent and the lives lost trying to capture those 5 Taliban terrorists who are just the worst of the worst.
Well, I mean, the good news is, though, especially with these sort of terrorists, is the recidivism rate is very low.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
What did O'Reilly say last night? He goes, yeah, they're just going to open up a used car dealership in Kabul.
Right.
No, they're gonna listen to Marie Harf's comments and say, why are we picking up guns? Let's start
this story just, it makes me madder than it probably should. But, I mean, I remember a couple of years ago, several of the guys, after being on with Megyn Kelly, were reaching out to me on Twitter, just coming into a withering attack from people on the left, calling him psychopaths.
Yeah.
A sitting deputy secretary within the administration, coming under all sorts of attacks, and all they did was tell the truth.
I think we need to play that Rose Garden ceremony on a loop, on a loop, on a loop, on a loop, just over
and
and
his dad
over.
with the beard and the.
This is interesting. Mom since 01 says, Harris, what's the probability that President Obama will stall the Bergdahl prosecution until he can be given a presidential pardon?
No way.
No
way.
There goes Hillary Clinton getting elected in 2016.
Wow,
this guy will get pardoned.
Those Taliban prisoners, I was reading about the Taliban prisoners. The director of Defense Intelligence of that agency has told Congress all his officers can do now is warn the U.S. government. I mean, we released those 5. 3 of them have been tied to terror networks or trying to
get back
affiliate back with their terror networks.
I mean, there's another point to be made here. Remember where we sent them? We sent them to Qatar, which we now know the Qatari government has been funneling money to terrorist groups.
And we thanked the Qataris at that Rose Garden.
Yeah, we probably did.
But the president stood at the podium at that Rose Garden ceremony with the Bergdahl parents and looked out and said, I want to thank the government of Qatar.
Okay, but juxtapose that with what he did after James Foley's announcement. The same podium.
I mean,
similar podium, different location.
The media is a
member of the House Intelligence Committee, Mike Pompeo, is that how you say his last name?
It is now.
Okay, he says, I have seen nothing. I have seen nothing that causes me to believe that these folks are reformed. And, you know, they've been studying and watching these guys.
Oh, that's interesting, too. Well,
Of course they're not.
Of course.
You're kidding. He's
Good
like,
Lord. No, they're going to be like, you know what? Moderation is the way to go.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on the paleo diet now. I'm investigating Buddhism because that's way more mellow. I have the beard. I'm just keeping it because I'm moving to Brooklyn. You know, of course they're not reformed. They can't wait to get back in there. And it's like every time we ship a gun to help one of our friends in the Middle East, we should take stock in the bullets that are going to be used against our servicemen and women.
All right,
that ain't right.
My husband and I were having light chatter after the kids went to bed last night. And I said to him, so what happens when an Iranian soldier kills an American soldier over in Iraq? That's what he did. Crickets. I said, you don't think that could happen?
Of course that could happen.
We're over there right now. They're supposedly fighting alongside the Iraq military, whom we're training, against ISIS. You don't think they'd like a little chunk of that while they're over there? Just a question.
They would love, I mean, as far as the Iranians are concerned, that used to be Iranian territory 1,000 years ago. Yeah. They would love to have it back. They tore down the statue of Saddam Hussein, and they've put up a statue of the Grand Ayatollah in this place.
Stony Rich 1CH says, last one, is it weird for Eric to get this long to talk without having to kick to an Atlanta traffic update?
There's an inside joke there. So my radio show is drive time in Atlanta, and every 5 minutes I have to stop for traffic because it's Atlanta. And yes, it is a little weird.
Making a really big point.
Oh my gosh, there's a guy getting a ticket.
There's a guy getting a ticket.
Right, we're talking about that.
Should we say fight the power, man?
Let's go help him out, Ainsley.
All right, let me.
Oh
let me
my
try
goodness. Oh, they'll look up to you.
He's not
You're
going to
tethered,
look.
but
we all wait.
You're tethered here. All on.
No, don't do it.
Thanks for joining Over Time.
Poor guy.
It's been really fun. We're going to go now because I'm going to end this.
We're all illegally parked.
We'll see you right here tomorrow at noon. Thank you.
I love you.